Happiness through curiosity on TRS Clips.
Whenever I start to think of myself as being, having achieved something, all I have to do is look down here to my arm. And one of the many deities that I'm fond of is the Hawaiian volcano goddess Pele. And I was very fortunate for 12 years to spend like 6 to 8 weeks of the year in Hawaii. And at least a dozen times, I never counted, I was able to go out onto the lava flow and make offerings into red lava, red flowing lava. So, and those offerings, and of course the lava came and covered them, those offerings are going to remain there for, I don't know, however long the island is there, 1 million years probably. So my papayas and coconuts and so on as an offering. And things would happen in certain ways, and I could tell that Pele was appreciating it. But when I started to think that I was something special, and I forgot that she was a volcano, one day I was not paying attention and fell down, and lava is very, very sharp.
Really?
Very sharp. This is fresh lava. We're talking about lava that maybe it was only laid down a day or two ago. If you see red lava, it's flowing. That, of course, that's like 1100 degrees centigrade. That will vaporize you stay away from that. You offer something, you do it carefully from over there. If right next to it, you have to be very careful not to stand too long in one place. Or your shoes will start to melt because it's still hot. But after about 24 hours, the top, 1 foot of it or so has gotten cool enough that you can walk on. This is Hawaiian volcano we're talking about, very liquid lava, not the explosive volcanoes. Those are very different things.
Where are those?
Like in all along the west coast of the Americas. So like Mount St. Helens that blew up. Those are very dangerous volcanoes. This is dangerous. I mean, obviously, I ended up with offering quite a bit of blood to the goddess right then. And I eventually had to go to the hospital because you don't want to leave the fragments of lava in your skin because they will act as foreign bodies. So, and I tried to take them out myself, but I didn't have the guts without anesthesia to drag, because the skin was all open in several places. But I see that there's a little tiny piece of lava that was missed, and it's come to the surface a couple of years ago.
Really?
And so I can see it. Yeah, it's the dark spot right there. And so I can look at it and I can say, yeah. Remember to always be respectful, especially when you're dealing with a natural force.
You've had some life, man.
I've had, it's been great in some ways, and it's been terrible in other ways.
Hold on, we're going to talk about this. I want to know a little bit more about lava. I want to know a little bit more about this deity. Pele, you said?
Pele.
First of all, what's the energy of lava like, other than just hot? I'm asking you a more ethereal question.
It's big. It's because this particular volcano, the big island of Hawaii, there are basically 5 volcanoes. This is the one, there are 2 that are still active. This is the most active one. It's one of the most active ones on Earth. And so it has been slowly building up its own crater. And it's not that big yet, but there is this, and so what there is there's a magma hotspot underneath it. So there's a giant, and I don't know how big giant is, but I mean, it's miles and miles and miles across of molten rock that is underneath. And that rock continues coming to the surface. So you can kind of, I mean, there's a lot of rock between you and the hot spot, but you can kind of feel the hot spot, and there's a direct connection because that is coming up from the center of the earth. You see the lava there, and it is coming up from far, far beneath there. So you can definitely feel like connection there, but it's also just the fact that you are out in the middle of this place where lava is flowing, and it's black all around, black lava everywhere. And sometimes there will be methane explosions happening underneath you. So sometimes you'll go boom, and there's sometimes the sound of the lava is a particular kind of sound. So it's just it's big is the best way I can describe it. It's like it's bigger than you can encapsulate in your way of seeing things.
Okay. It definitely has its own consciousness.
Yes. And up until recently, it was Pele, the goddess Pele, who it is said originally came from Tahiti. And established herself in this crater, the crater of Halema'uma'u, at the Kilauea volcano. And until recently, you could access the crater. Some American guy 150 years ago built a place called Volcano House, and you could sit there, and there wasn't always visible lava in the crater, but the crater was always there, and there would always be some steam coming out of it. And then you could go around to a place where you could make offerings, and a lot of people would make offerings of gin, but that probably came from some European somewhere or some American. But what she really likes is ohelo berries. And the ohelo plant, ohelo berries are little red berries about this size. The ohelo plant is one of the first plants, along with the ohia, that start to grow after the lava is laid down. Initially, no plants are going to be there because the lava is very hot. But then there's a lot of rain. So the rain comes down, the rain gets in there, and seeds land up there, and the ohelo grows. And you could always find ohelo near Halema'uma'u, and you would go and find 5 ohelo berries. You would offer one to her, you would eat one, offer one to her, eat one, offer one to her. And then, it's kind of like then you, if she was, you would wait to, I would do this before I went, because I would be saying to her, please let me go out and make some offerings and come back in one piece. And, you would then, maybe the geese would fly by at the moment that you're asking, or maybe something else would happen. But you want some kind of response from nature. It doesn't have to be a big fancy response like the skies open and angels come down. There should just be some response. So the environment is saying, yes, you have come and you've requested this. Yes, you may do so. And then I would go ahead and do that. So I know that other people relate to Pele in a different way, but that's the way I relate to her. So, I like to relate to things the way I'm able to relate to them.
Kind of an Indian question, but are all these a version of Ma Durga or Kali Ma or something like that? Like, are they all do they all originate from the same divine feminine?
According to the Durga Saptashati, there is only one goddess. Vimalananda liked to call her Adya, the original. Everyone else, no matter where, is a manifestation of that original. And I mean, while it would be nice to think that, India owns her, nobody owns her. She is totally and completely independent. She is swatantra, and she can do whatever she wants to, because people here have paid lots of attention to her and have worshipped her in many different forms, in many different ways. She has been gracious enough to manifest repeatedly in different ways, but she manifests everywhere. That is who she is. I mean, she is in charge of manifestation. She's she is the mother. So she is naturally everything that is produced in this loka, in Mrityu loka. It is coming from this original goddess. Different names, different places, different guna dharma, meaning different attributes, but only one goddess.
What do the Hawaiians pray to Pele for?
For is a good question. I'm not sure, but I mean, they respect her as being. There would have been a time where, kind of like over here, here in India, at least traditionally, you would have a Kula Devata. Your family would worship a particular Devata. So in Hawaii also, your family would be associated with a particular Devata. And that might be according to where you lived or what your job was or something. You know, if your job was fishing, then you would certainly want to have a good relationship with the god of the sea. If you were living near the volcano, you'd want to have a good relationship with the god of the volcano. And of course, for some people, it became more a matter of, you know, a fear-based thing that we must placate. And this, of course, happens in every culture. We must placate the god or goddess so that we do not get smitten and struck down with a thunderbolt or whatever.
So if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to TRS Clips for more.